folks, welcome to your very first set of video notes for 8th grade science. Today we're going to cover engineering and science literacy. The first thing you want to do is write down these vocabulary words and their definitions in your notebook. So let's talk about engineering. The whole purpose of engineering is to solve a problem. In order to do this, engineers follow a few simple steps. So first off, they have to define what the problem is, otherwise they don't have anything to solve, right? Next, they have to identify any of the constraints or criteria for success for the project. Next, they have to brainstorm solutions to the problem, ways that they can fix the problem that fall within the constraints and criteria. Next, they have to sift through all of those ideas that they got and select the most promising solution, the one that fits the criteria the best, and the ones that seem to be the most successful. Next, they're going to build a prototype of the solution, and then they'll test that prototype. After they've tested the prototype, they can collect some data from it and evaluate whether that prototype works against the criteria, whether it is successful like it's supposed to be. And if it's not as successful as they want it to be, they can go back and modify the prototype to improve it and keep repeating a few of those steps until they find the absolute best solution. Once they land on the best solution, it's their job to communicate that solution to any stakeholders involved. Now you've got a second set of vocabulary to write down. This vocabulary covers all of the science literacy stuff that we'll be talking about. So take a moment to read through this article. So, as you saw in your vocabulary, there's the difference between fact, reasoned judgment, and speculation. So facts are like pieces of data and things that aren't refutable. They're not opinions, they're not ideas, they're just facts. That's what they are. They're true, always. Reasoned judgments use those facts and data and come up with a really good idea of what might be going on. It isn't just a guess, it's a guess that's based on good evidence. And then a speculation would be also a guess, but it doesn't have a lot of evidence to back it up. So for example, in our article here, we have a whole bunch of facts about how scientists have studied weather over the years. And you notice there's a reasoned judgment there that says, given these factors, such warnings can be credited with saving numerous lives over the years. It doesn't mean they necessarily have data that says, yep, we've saved lives because we were able to detect a tornado, but it's a pretty good guess. And you can see from all of those facts that their ability to better detect inclement weather is probably pretty better for everybody. The last line of this article is speculation. It says, maybe someday the science will become so advanced that violent weather will no longer be a serious threat to people's lives. Now, while saying that being able to recognize when weather is coming, and that has probably saved lives, that would be a reasoned judgment again. But saying that based on the facts given, our technology is going to get way better, and maybe we won't have to worry about weather being an issue for us anymore. That's some wild speculation. There's not a whole lot of data to back that idea up. When we talk about textual evidence, remember that's like a quote that you might pull out of the article to prove your point. So in this case, my point is that I'm trying to tell somebody that the main idea of the article was that meteorologists have gotten better at predicting severe weather. According to the article, today meteorologists depend on radar and satellites to provide them with useful information. By examining the images and studying air movement, meteorologists are able to quickly spot areas of rotating air within a thunderstorm that may turn into a funnel cloud. So that was a quote that I pulled straight from the text to prove my point. That quote pretty much sums up what I was saying, that meteorologists have gotten better at predicting the weather. Okay, last set of vocabulary, just 2 words. So, like it said in the vocabulary, the difference between a summary and an analysis, a summary just condenses the whole article to talk about the main points. And then an analysis will break the article apart into its different sections and actually analyze the way that it's written and why it's written that way. So for my summary, I have written down basically that The purpose of the article was to inform the reader of how we've gotten better with meteorological technology. And it talked about totos and turtles and their ability to detect tornadoes and how they didn't work. But now we have things like radar and satellites that work a lot better, and it's made it a lot easier to warn people of inclement weather. An analysis would help you to truly understand the article and the different pieces of information they presented. When we do analysis of scientific text in this class, I'll likely have you do something similar to it, but I'll also have you highlight or mark in some way which things are facts, reason, judgments, or speculation.